So next speaker is Mr. Muthu Maruthachalam. He is the president of Daimler India and he is the chief of operations. He is a mechanical engineer and has done masters in quality management. He has 25 plus years of multicultural work experience in automotive sector. His core competencies are quality management, supplier development, strategic planning, people development, global sourcing, supplier management, operations and logistics. That's why he is the president there. Now I can understand. He has 5 years of global experience as he has worked with Fuso Japan, heading customer quality. All of us know how Japanese customers are and how much demanding they are. So to lead customer quality in Japan for Japanese customers, it must be a real good experience for Mr. Muthu. So we are eagerly looking forward to listen to you. Stage is yours.
So, good afternoon all. First of all, it's an honor and privilege to be part of this panel. So first of all, thanks for the NIQR team to identify me and giving this opportunity to be a part of this panel. So really excited to be part of this one. Second thing, I know I'm standing between lunch and your lunch time, so maybe request all to be patient for another 30-40 minutes. We had heard the interesting speech from the previous panel, and I have another 20 minutes and next 30 minutes for you to do it. So I will quickly skip this slide because introduction was given by Sivanesan sir, but trust you, this is my photograph. Huh? I might look different now. This was a photograph 10 years back. I just love this, so I kept it. Some of you may confuse who is there in the photo, and I'm Mr. Different. It is not, it's me only. So before I start on the theme, I just want to give a background about where I'm coming from. So I'm representing Daimler India Commercial Vehicles. So you all know DICV is the subsidiary of Daimler Truck AG and producing trucks in India under the brand of Bharat-Benz. Not only for India, we are also producing trucks for the global markets under multiple brands, Mercedes-Benz, Freightliner and Fuso, and exporting to around 50 plus countries from the plant in Chennai. So in India, DICV started operation in 2009 early, and in 2011 we identified this brand for India, Bharat-Benz, and some of the key insights of the plant in India are we are located in Oragadam with a 400 acres plant, fully integrated plant, capable of producing trucks and buses with a capacity of 72,000 and 4,000. And we have so far invested around 1 billion in the plant in Chennai. So that's a brief background about the company I'm representing from. What to expect in next 20 minutes from me. Challenges in today's world. I think we heard about this since morning. What are the various challenges that we are as industry, we are as members in the industry facing towards us, be it a political, geopolitical situation, be it a war scenario, be it a supply chain risk. What are the different challenges is facing it? What differentiates great organizations? In spite of all these challenges, which is very common to all of us, there are some organizations which stands out, correct? And I would like to share my insights on what are the differentiation these organizations have in common and some experience that I can share in this forum. Resilience in quality. What is mean by resilience? We talked since morning. I think all of us heard this one, but at least I can share one example or one insight. In my experience, this word resilient is most talked about after the COVID, correct? While the word itself is very new, but post-COVID, I think you can reflect yourself. We are talked about this resilience almost every day, correct? Resilient in supply chain, resilient in operation, resilience in logistics. So this is very commonly talked about in E1. So resilience is nothing but in spite of external challenges, in spite of complex situation that we are in, how we are able to sustain and how we are able to focus on continuous improvement. That's exactly the meaning of resilient technology. To give a metaphor about this one, you can understand the flower there, correct? When you look at a flower, we always remember a beautiful garden in home or a beautiful botanical situation, environment where a flower can blossom. But if you could recollect or if you can think about a situation where you would have seen some flowers also in the rocks and mountains, correct? Now that's not an environment where flower would like to be or a plant would like to be. But even in those environment, there are flowers which blossom amidst the rocks. I think that is the resilient when it talks about the plant by itself. So it is not worried about the environment, whether it's a very fertile land or not. It's not worried about it has a water or not, but even in spite of being in rock, it can blossom. That's exactly what you can take it out about resilience. So in spite of challenges, how you are able to sustain and how you are able to blossom. Now, what are the challenges that we face in today's world? We talked about challenges, correct? Resilience to overcome the challenges. Now, what are the challenges that we face in today's world? Trade-off between quality and speed. I'm talking about typically in terms of any manufacturing setup, correct? We talked about this in the morning, correct? When it comes to quality and speed or quality and cost, always there is a trade-off. And sometimes quality takes a backseat, correct? And how we are prepared. In the past, we have seen product development life cycle changes. It takes around 5 years. In Western countries, it takes 5 years. We have seen what is happening in China. They are able to turn around the product development in 18 months. 18 months. So particularly in these scenarios, always there is a challenge of time and quality. And how are we going to overcome these challenges without compromising quality? That's one challenge. The second challenge I see is increasing customer expectation and also changing customer expectation. I think all of us know what is our expectations 5 years or 10 years before and what is our experience currently when you go and buy a product, be it for our own use or be it for our what we give to customers. The changes, expectations and the demands for customers are completely changing, and it is very dynamic, and the changes are happening much faster in the written times. Ownership concern, we talked about before, Sivanasan sir highlighted this one. Typically in organization, when it comes to quality, we believe it is a responsibility of the quality team. And all others feel that, okay, my job is to do something, quality job is to take the responsibility. But that's one of the challenges. Complaints-driven quality and not excellence-driven quality. Traditionally, our mindset in quality is, quality department is make sure the complaints are taken care. Audit is done, technical governance point is taken care, all the safety critical functions are checked and qualified. But it is beyond that one, are we looking at exceeding the expectations and driving excellence through quality? So these are some of the challenges that is in front of us. And the question is, in spite of all the, I mean, this is only some, there are many, I think you can add to it. But the question is, how in these challenging situations, we are going to build a resilience. I talked about the differentiation organization, correct? All of the companies, I think we are representing people from close to 100 plus companies here, correct? And every company that we know today are ISO, IATF or VDA certified, correct? So they are all meeting the basic quality standards. What constitute the basic quality standards? Quality systems and processes, governance, technology, and skilled workforce. At a high level, these are the 4 main themes that every organization needs for the quality requirement. Now, are these 4 layers sufficient to be a great organization? Because all the companies, as I said, all the companies are having all this. It's not that none of the companies are having it, correct? Without that, we cannot be in the business. But then why not all are in the same level when it comes to quality? There is one differentiating factors, which is the quality mindset. So in my view, the mindset, I think we discussed, we heard this in the morning section also in the inauguration show. It's not about processes and systems, it's about the mindset, which on top of all this, which makes the differentiation when it comes to a resilient organization. Now, okay, we talked about mindset. What is mindset? How to define mindset, correct? So first I talked about quality is not about quality's team members' responsibility or quality organizations, but it is a responsibility of everybody. And way of thinking beyond process and systems. There is a role I am having as a quality engineer or a production engineer. I'm doing this one, but it is how we think beyond my role looking at the quality. And how to inculcate this one, correct? So how to, okay, we talked about challenges, we talked about mindset is important to overcome the challenges, and we understood what is a mindset. Now how to inculcate this mindset? Okay, I'm okay to now do that. What is to be done for me, correct? So I believe the practices of core principles are more important to inculcate these things like that. This is an iceberg, you see. What we see on the outside layer is the systems and processes or challenges. What we see under the iceberg is the core principles and mindset. In summary, if the principles that we practice will convert into the, creates a quality mindset, and that quality mindset will create a continuous improvement environment, which addresses to overcome the challenges that we face in the organization. In a way, we call it as a resilient in quality. So this is how the principles and the core values will make it a resilient leadership. Now, where we should start? We talked about mindset, where we should talk about, correct? Everything starts with leadership team. We understood from the previous speaker also that, and also in the morning section we talked about, while we generally talk about quality is everybody's responsibility, which is true, which is must, but it starts with the leadership thought. And one example, I think all of us would have seen this one, what Steve Jobs has said in the past. In 1984, when the first Mac was made, he saw the PCB board, which is a bit ugly. The way it was layout was made, way it was done. And the mindset of the team at that time was, anyway, PCB board is going into the computer, so nobody is going to, the customer is not going to see it, he's only perform it. But he gave a quote saying that this is not how the customer should be considered. No? Imagine we have all the products, many of the products that we don't see, which is behind, can we have an inferior quality? So that's the vision of the leadership and how it can shape this one. So to bring this core principles, some of the key principles to have this resilient organizations are customer centricity, transparency, built-in quality, and focus on process, not on the output. I will give brief about what I meant with all these four. When it comes to customer centricity, it's about understanding what the customer wanted and either meet or exceeds expectations. Imagine you go to a coffee shop, ask for a tea, and the guy feels that coffee is much better today, I'll give you a copy. He doesn't understand the need of the customer. So very, very important is for us to understand the customer expectations. Being customer obsessed, not competition focused. I can give you a lot of examples. I think all of us use Amazon here, correct? All of us use Amazon here. Amazon was the first who thought about what customer needed and brought this Prime membership, because customer was thinking, I want to order, but I wanted to get the delivery of the products much earlier than what it is traditionally used to be. So they brought the concept of Prime membership, which makes the delivery or receive of the product much faster. Second, that's one example. And the last one is long-term trust over short-term gains. This is other customer centricity focused. Again, take the example of Amazon. I think all of you would have used Amazon. If you get a product and if you find it is not okay for some reason, because you didn't like it or you didn't expect thing, there is a process of return, correct? And would have we imagined 5 years or 10 years back that return policy is so simple? All they ask is take a photograph, submit a return request, next minute or next hour, you get the amount back in our account, correct? They don't even look at the product whether you dispatched or not. That's the trust they build into the customers. And when we order, we don't worry about whether it is right or not. Like we order merchandise in thing, right? We buy it, we wear it, and we return it back saying that size is unfit. Nobody asks questions. But that is because Amazon trust, build a trust over long term. It is not short term. There will be some misuse, there will be some losses, but they're not worried about that one. They're worried about building trust for the long time. Transparency, building trust amongst the team. One example I can quote in our organization is how we are building a trust and how we are building a culture of avoiding fear and failure, correct? So in our organization, we recently started in Daimler India, started the TQM journey. 1.5 years before, we also wanted to get into the TQM journey. And we started this culture of bad news first. I think Mr. Siram mentioned in the opening speak about this culture, bad news first. We started this one, we learned from the DQM philosophy, and we started this practice of talking about bad news first, starting from the board meeting till the operation meeting. Now what we are trying to do is creating an environment of trust in making sure every team member is coming and sharing the bad news so that there is no culture of fear. And second thing, create an environment where we are giving an opportunity for somebody to try and do some improvements. Even if there is a failure, we are supporting that one. So this is the second thing, creating transparency across the value chain. Built-in quality, I think traditionally we discussed about quality is, I'm a production guy. My job description talks about I need to take this part and assemble this part, make 5 bolts, torque as per the specification mentioned here, correct? When he talks about built-in quality, we are talking about his job is not only doing this, what is described in the job element sheet, but also make sure that the part or the bolts that he use is in the right quality, supplied, right part being supplied, and also make sure that he finishes this one. So what we called as a CDC, again, a philosophy from DQM, it's check, do, check, correct? Earlier we were only doing check. Now we are trying to build this into this one. And second thing is we also authorized all our operators in the line to pull the hand-on system, to pull the plug if he or she finds something is not going on right, correct? It's more of authority to everybody. So basically we are trying to bring a culture of identifying defects early in the value chain, which can be prevented because the consequence of that going out is much more higher down the value chain. Focus on the process, not out the output. Now you may question, are we not serious about output? I would say no. Definitely we should be mindful about output, but definitely my thing is focus more on the process. For example, we travel every day to our office or every day to some place, correct? We always know what time we have to reach there. And we know the travel time, but we always start looking at the process, correct? What time we need to start, how we need to go, which route we need to go, what is the traffic conditions on that day, is there anything special happening on the road, should I take a detour, etc. This is the process that we follow to reach there on time. So output is important, but more important for us is to make sure that we follow a process which is more structured and which is more focused about making the best result out of this one. So that's very, very important. That's why we say focus on the process. I'm not saying not focus on the result, but more focus on the process. In summary, I would like to give a brief on the summary. We talk about process, systems, skills, governance, and technology are very, very important. But the real game changer for being a resilient organization is to build a quality mindset. And that mindset is not built on manuals, on procedure or something. It is more built on practices and the decisions that we do on a day-to-day basis, which comes from leadership. Look at a desert or a forest where a solid tree is standing, correct? And the tree has to overcome the resilience or the challenges coming from environment, wind, rain and everything. The branches and the leaves and the other flowers are all the policies, systems, procedures, technology, etc., etc. The root which holds it strong is the mindset. So mindset is very, very important to be a resilient organization supported by all the governance and process and systems. So that's a short update from my side. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you.
So we are running short of time. It's time for Q&A. Few questions are, quite a lot of questions are there. I'll pick up few which are common. One question from Mr. Suman Kumar Chaudhary. He is asking, if you do R&D to improve quality, how can we convince customer for increased cost? So who would like to answer this? Muthu?
I think R&D or anything that we do to customers, the focus is what value we are creating to customers, correct? And customers today are willing to pay if there is a value. As simple as it is. If it is not creating any value, there is no point in developing or no point in investing. I think you also touched this point, this one, correct? As long as there is a value, customer will pay for it. So the focus should be on value, and whatever we do, how to create a value. I think that's how we need to look. That's how I see this one.
Okay. The next question is, Arif Nidhi is asking, as a quality leader, you should empower your employees. That's what being said in all the discussion. So by what means I can empower them to invoke quality? It's a very common question. Basically, how do we empower the workman? First of all, you have to remove fear from their mind. Supposing one does a mistake, he has to put a bolt with a washer, he forgot to put. After a minute, he realized that he has forgotten the washer. The vehicle has moved. Now, if he reports to the supervisor, how the supervisor behaves will decide whether the workman is empowered or not empowered. Starts holding him accountable. How did you do the mistake? You start asking the question to him. Then it's not empowerment. He has come out honestly that there is a mistake. So he should be rewarded and the defect should be rectified. That's one example of doing this one. Second is, if some defective part has come, the operator who fits it sees that this part is not okay, he should be empowered to stop the conveyor line, even if it affects the production. So what we say generally, no, you report to supervisor, then if he will decide whether to stop the line or not. The line never gets stopped. Every employee should be empowered. You saw some picture from Muthu. In Daimler, they showed hand on board when the light starts blinking. If a worker finds a defect, he can stop the line. It will come and reflect, right? That's a way to empower. For the last 10-15 years, this is from Mr. S. Veeraraghavan. 10 to 15 years, a lot of training work has been conducted by OEMs to Tier 1 and Tier 2. Today, 800 million OEMs are there. Result efforts of this, what is the result of these efforts? That's what is being said. See, this is a journey. If you put seeds today, the benefits will take some time to come. So, hand-holding Tier 1 and Tier 2 is not an option, it's a necessity. Until unless we handhold and work with them, India is not going to progress. You can.
I think remember the time when Maruti came in India, 83, 84, when Sir was there, must be in Maruti. So the kind of challenges they were having with not having that quality supplier, to the situation today where the Indian Tier 1, Tier 2 suppliers are supplying to Merck, BMW, or all the good companies in Europe. And I think, I don't exactly remember the data, but the growth of Indian auto component industry is more than 25% annually. It's a very big number, which is going to from India to Europe and other countries. So this is one indicator. I'm not saying only because of the OEM, but it's maybe the overall effort of the quality journey of India last 20 years has tremendously changed the perception about the quality, especially the component industry.
I think adding to that, it is also the process of communication and transparency, correct? As we discussed, the changing demands from customers are going up, but the message of what is expected from each one of us in the value chain. I think that is where this engagement goes on, correct? It is a journey, as Sivanesan sir mentioned, but in this journey, we need to constantly engage and tell what is next, what is the expected from customer, and what is expected from OEM to be done, and what is that the OEM expects us, the partners, to do it. I think this has to continue, and this is the only way within we can evolve and transform.
So, one more question. What can we do for resilience at bottom level people who actually contribute to real quality? Who would like to answer? Any one of you can answer.
I can start. See, it's not about bottom or top, it's about clarity of role, correct? Are we able to give a clarity in terms of responsibilities or roles of each and every individual on what is expected from him or her? Once we have that defined, and then there is obviously a KPI or a metric attached to it. And once we start measuring that one, then the accountability comes into picture. So accountability comes along with the responsibility, correct? And responsibility means, are we clear as an organization? So I would start with that one, make it very clear each and everyone's roles and responsibilities, and then automatically accountability comes, and then comes the ownership. That's how I see this one.
Sir, the last question is for Mr. Venkat. Used or broken glass is environmental threat. What are the measures for recycling these broken parts?
Actually, it's a myth that broken glasses is wrong for environment. In fact, the glass pieces are being used as a filter. And in fact, it's 100% renewable, and whatever glass is made is from the natural minerals, right? So natural materials. So broken glasses is not environmentally any bad at all. But as I already mentioned during my presentation, so whatever we get in the market, we 100% recover it. And the mix-up, we are trying to see how we can use the advanced technology of optical sorting system, the anti-current systems, and by way of also the supply chain, we are partnering with several startups like Kabadiwala and to see how we can get this milkman delivery systems from small shops in crowded bazaars to get all those colored. There are milkman delivery systems. There are huge, for example, the building demolition waste is also one of the ways in which we are trying to get back the broken pieces of glasses. So 6 axes in which we are looking at in terms of from retailers, from dealers to processors to the building demolition waste to what is available in the retail market and also the imports. Every single grain is being used. I'll also try to quickly answer on the previous one in terms of, because the people involvement is very important. When we started the suggestion scheme 20 years back, we based it on the GE, Jack Welch, what he has written when he did the Six Sigma, and it became a success in GE in the mid-90s. It's written in his book, All the Winning. When he was talking to the operator and he was asking him, you have been with the company for more than 25 years and now we have done the Six Sigma, and what do you see as the difference before and after? He said that for 20 years you were paying for my heads and hands when my brain was available for free. When you trust that every single employee in the organization, whatever be the position, and value them for what they bring in as an idea, the suggestion scheme is based on this. And when we did the suggestion scheme, people don't stop giving suggestions, not because it's not getting implemented, but it's because they don't know why it is not getting implemented. So we have a system where there is a closed loop as to why it is implemented or not implemented. The people will value this.
Thank you. So we are running short of time. So the summarization, just one word summarization I will do for each. Mr. Venkat focused on sustainability is a great contributor to resilience. That's a message I could take from him. Mr. Muthu talked about quality mindset is the key differentiating factor. Think beyond systems and processes. Sachin talked about building resilient systems and using digital leverage to empower people. So these are the summary. So at the end, the conclusion, resilient quality leadership is all about holding the line of standards in the toughest moments. True resilience is ensuring that what you deliver still meets the world-class quality expectation, no matter how deep the crisis is, right? With that, I end this session. Now over to organizers.
The third speaker is Mr. Sachin.